knew a horn would make school so hard? Hi everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and this was an interesting one, and it's a great one when you're dealing with kids getting ready to go to school for the first time, or getting ready to go back to school after a summer at home or at a camp or club or whatever else they're in. It is Narwhal versus Kindergarten by Vanessa Roeder. As our story starts, Narwhal is heading to school for the very first day, and he has a little bit of a problem. Actually, it's kind of a big problem. His horn is huge, and he has a hard time getting it where it needs to be. So he has to poke it out of his bus window, and he accidentally pokes the poor crossing guard, and accidentally knocks someone's blocks over when he's working on something else. And just has one thing after the other with it. Even has a problem with silly hat days. The hat tears and falls down his horn. And over the course of things, he finds things his tusk is good at. You know, having sword fights and pointing at the board and using it for certain games, but then it causes other problems like popping balloons. Anyway, in the course of things, he realizes that everyone has their own struggles. That they can't carry the bat, or they're going to get squished by another player, or a snake can't catch a ball, or someone accidentally throws the armadillo when it's rolled up, or a giraffe can reach both bases by stretching things out, and together they start figuring out ways to make things work for everyone. And sometimes that involves some pretty creative things, like wearing a traffic cone instead of a batter's helmet when playing baseball. And in the end, Hugo still has problems with his tusk, but he's got new friends to help him with it. I liked it. This is what the big ear problem, the story I previously filmed a video about the elephant who maybe didn't always listen so well and follow along, was trying to be. A story about someone who has a particular part of them that makes doing certain things kind of difficult and finding ways around it, but importantly realizing that they're not alone in it. And that's a nice message, because we've all got our own little quirks that make certain things harder or easier, and this book does a really great job explaining that. The writing is fine. It's just simple sentences, quick and to the point, and very well supported by the illustrations. But what I really loved was the illustrations. They're a good style, but right from the beginning, Roeder shows the obstacles that the other animals are having. They're in the background throughout this whole book while Hugo takes the forefront. The octopus that lets ink go unexpectedly on the crosswalk. The snake that can't get blocks out of a box. The elephant that sneezes and sprays water all over the llama. I think a gerbil. And snake who can't play in the jungle gym. The giraffe that can't use a slide wall because it reaches from top to bottom of it. There's all these things happening in the background, that all of these animals are having challenges, but also having things that they're quite good at. The elephant being good at doing sword fights with a meter stick using its trunk. The octopus who can grab 8 rings at a time to play ring toss with Narwhal. And it just comes across incredibly well. The message that you're reading through the text and through Hugo's particular story is echoed in the background in a dozen different ways through all the other animal characters. It's very effective. Roeder did a great job. Now, if I was going to pair this with some other things for story time, first off, I would probably pair it with Wake Me Up in 20 Coconuts, as I've talked about a few times before, because that one focuses more on differences in communication and understanding rather than physical advantages and limitations. It would be a natural pairing, and I think it would go over like $1 million paired with this. I might also pair it with The Pigeon Has to Go to School, where it focuses again on the internal side of things, but the fears, the worries, the concerns about going to school and dealing with things like Hugo had to deal with. And coming to a realization that, you know what, maybe it won't be so bad after all. At least you get to ride a bus. So I recommend this. I think it would be great in a storytime setting like I mentioned. Go borrow it from your public library. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell your council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer. And a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. Now, if by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me gush about this one. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back and see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.